Awesome. We are live. Welcome to our fourth episode of Grace Pace, where I interview cool designers who are also content creators, founders, building something cool outside of their 9 to 5. I'm excited to welcome our fourth guest, Ozan. And during our live, do feel free to jump in and ask any questions and any comments in the chat. And Ozan is a product designer building a design resource library product for designers, Fountain. So we'll be deep diving into his process and all about building products for designers and design resources. There is a 30-second delay between what we see here and what we see right here on StreamYard and what we see on LinkedIn. But we'll try to get through as many questions as we can, including the ones that you guys submitted in the Luma link. But as we wait for folks to trickle in, feel free to comment in the chat. Where do you find design resources and where are you based? What about you, Ozan? Where do you find design resources and where are you based?
Well, I think I check Fountain recently to find resources, but since that I've been collecting resources for so long, like I'm aware of like all the platforms around and I know where to look. But of course, there are many websites I check almost every day, like Designer Daily Report or monthly. Hey Designer used to be like a daily resource, but it became weekly. But also Today in Design is great. Uh, so I guess in terms of websites, I can tell these. And where am I based in? I live in Stockholm, but I'm originally from Istanbul. And yeah, I moved to Sweden like around 10 years ago.
Amazing. I love Istanbul and Stockholm as well. I've been to both. That's so
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, mhm.
I saw your post about Istanbul. You've been there, and I don't know. I guess you didn't stay much there, but yeah, there are tons of things to do in Istanbul.
Yeah, I need to go there again. It's a flight hub, so it's pretty easy to get to. And we hosted design meetups in Istanbul, design buddies meetup in Istanbul too.
You should do it in Stockholm as well.
Yeah, I should come again. I'm from San Francisco, so it's a bit far, but I will be there again. I went to Stockholm a couple of months ago. It was through a cruise, and it was really fun. I was hanging out with another designer friend of mine, Dan, who is also a content creator designer in Stockholm as well. So, love Stockholm. It's cool. What brought you
Yeah.
from Istanbul to Stockholm?
I got a job offer from a company in Sweden. Like I used to work as a full-time freelancer before I moved here, and I was already planning to move abroad, but I hadn't decided like which or country that I can move to. But I was actually thinking about maybe US because I had clients from US or maybe like England, London, but I never thought about Sweden. It was surprising to me as well.
Mm.
uh, yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna try to answer some. Yes, Dave, this is being recorded, but encourage you all to stay and get your questions answered too. But yeah, let's dive in some introductions. What are you up to these days, and what is your background?
Um, these days, I'm mostly like focused on building Fountain, and I run a design and development studio with my brother. Every now and then we get some like clients, but this design studio is not our first priority. And apart from those, I also do one-on-one mentorships to designers who seek guidance, career guidance, or help with anything design related. So yeah, this is like what I work on most lately. And my background is actually I did a lot of things in my career. Like I changed my profession several times during my career, but I always wanted to become a designer eventually because my brother is a great designer. Actually, he's a world class designer, and he has always been like that since I don't know 2000 2001. And but the problem is like I always thought I didn't have the talent, so I had to start with something more technical. I started as passing the Microsoft exams, and I became a Microsoft certified system engineer back in like 2001, 2002. And I started working as a system administrator at one of the most prominent advertisement agencies in Turkey. And that job gave me the opportunity to work closely with the web department. They were like designing and building websites. So there I started learning HTML, and actually that was the first time I got into the web industry. So I made a transition to front end development, and I started working as a front end developer back in I don't know 2006, 7, something like that, I think. And then after that, I became a partner of a digital agency. There, I improved my project management skills, and also I had opportunity to actually start designing because I was partner of the company, so I had enough time to uh, like design for myself or like for the clients. And then around 2011, I turned my direction completely in designing because over the years I always practiced on the side, and I think at some point I got enough confidence to become a designer. And since then, like I think I can say 2011, I've been working as a designer, and yeah, over the years, like I focused more on the UX side of the design, and some years I focused more on the UI side of the profession. But yeah, that is my background in general.
Hmm. That's cool. When you do mentorships, what do people typically come to you for help on, and what are they struggling with the most?
Mostly career guidance because I also did it. I started doing that at ADP List. I wanted to do it because I wanted to see how I can share my knowledge with people if I can share. I also wanted to practice what I know. So mostly it was junior designers who are seeking career guidance because they were mostly overwhelmed with the information. They were trying to enter the IT industry, but they didn't know what to learn. Should they learn personas? Should they learn like drawing rectangles? Should they learn design systems, research? Like there's so many things, and somehow they started, but after 6 months or a year, their minds were blowing up, and yeah, that was like mostly about it, and it was rarely like specific on topics like okay, how can I do research kind of questions weren't common.
Mm, yeah, yeah, I see that all the time in Design Buddies as well.
Mm.
Speaking of Fountain and curating resources, what inspired you to create Fountain? And feel free to like share your screen and give us an introduction of Fountain.
Yeah, just a second. So let me share my screen. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So, what inspired me? Actually, it started when I decided to become an online creator. Like 2 years ago, I quit my full-time job, which I worked for around like 8 years, and my goal was to become a full-time freelancer or start my own business, like being totally independent. And in the beginning, I thought about like my online presence, how I want to present myself, like who am I? I thought about those questions, and as an experienced designer, I thought like I can create like tutorials, like give information to the young designers who are entering to the industry, and uh, I thought that doing that wouldn't be enough, and um, a, a flagship product would be necessary to build my audience around. So I thought about what I can do, what I can turn a product into. Back then, I was already collecting resources, bookmarking my resources, and it was in a Notion database. Back then, it was actually not that fancy, but well organized. So I thought I can share it free with other people, because the best thing about Notion, like having resources, having bookmarks in Notion, is that you have them in a database with categorizing, searching, and filtering capabilities. Uh, Back then, it wasn't called Fountain. I actually called it product design. I bought a domain called Product Design Cool, and the motto was only the good stuff, because back then I thought about like curating, like only the having the resources that are curated is the main value of that product. But later I changed it. So yeah, I started sharing it, and it was like recognized by people like Vitaly Friedman, and they many people featured it on our sites or on their posts, and I thought that okay, this is something really useful for people, and uh, over time, uh, me and my brother was discussing about this product, and I shared my ideas with him. Like I said, I want to make this like turn this into a website where all the users can do more than searching and bookmarking, and I want to add more features to the site. So that is how Fountain was born. Like initially, we built it on Framer because there was a hype on like Framer, and we thought it would be a good idea to build it. And we were a bit hesitant because of the technical like incapabilities, but we still wanted to try if it's possible to build a website that requires such features like category filtering, assigning tags, searching, and a huge CMS like with thousands of resources in it. But after a while, we decided it wasn't the way to go. So we moved the platform from Framer to WordPress. What you see right now is the WordPress platform. And like each category has their own pages, but also you can filter out the results using the category section, category dropdown, and text dropdown. One thing we want to update here is I'm not sure if it's already updated, but for example, if we choose fonts and let's say free, or let's choose mockups. No, mockups is not a category, it's UI. and mockups. So you just find like whatever you need, like in just two simple steps. Or what else you can do here? Like you can just type mockups, and then like filtering results by a keyword means you see all the results from different categories. You can narrow down these results by selecting other options, and this is, yeah, basically how you find the resource. And the other thing is like bookmarking. Mm, let me sign in here. Let's bookmark a few resources and go to the bookmarks. Here, I only see the categories and tags of the resources that I recently bookmarked. I think this makes it so easy to find and save resources, and that is exactly what we are trying to do with Fountain, like finding resources the fastest way. Uh, so I guess for now, this is all I can show with Fountain. But yeah, of course, like we are in the process of building so many other features on the platform, and we are excited about them.
Nice. In the comments, Urson says, I'm trying to decide where to stick with this event or check on the Apple event, which I had no idea that's happening now. I'm from Cupertino actually, so that's cool. I have an iPhone. We literally pick our iPhones off the tree in Cupertino. Um, but really, how many times I can hear this is our best product yet? This conversation feels way more refreshing. So thanks for joining us. And I just like didn't know the Apple event was happening now, so that's cool.
Yeah, I was going to tell that you like such a coincidence, like beginning at the same time, and I thought like many people would go there, like instead of listening to this.
But thanks for joining. We have like 23
Yeah,
people on YouTube and 20 people on LinkedIn, so that's cool.
amazing.
Yeah, appreciate y'all. Speaking of design resources, and now there's like so many resources out there, people feel overwhelmed, like you mentioned, like how the junior designers feel like kind of overwhelmed. How do you curate the design resources on Fountain, and what makes a design resource good?
Yeah, great question. I actually really like to talk about this because there is really a lot of work behind it. We don't just collect everything and put like all the resources in a basket. We want to choose like what is useful, what can be useful for designers, and we want to like categorize them properly, assign their tags properly. When it comes to collecting resources, as I mentioned before, I check some websites daily, like Designer Daily Report, Mousely, and Creative Boom, Uplosedo, and also like there are creators I keep a close eye on, like Vitaly Friedman, Edward Chekik, and Stephanie Walter, Dan Moll. So if a resource is coming from them, it's easier to review them because they are already proven experts in their fields. So if they think the resource is worth sharing, then it's easier for us to decide if that resource is good to go in our database. And the first step of curating or collecting resources is like picking these resources and adding them into our pool of resources without tagging or categorizing. The second step is uh, reviewing these resources. The reviewing process is like it depends on the content. Like some content is or some resources are really rare. Like for example, Web3 and like how to design for Web3. You can't find many resources for this topic. Like when you find one, maybe you can compromise some quality of the resource because you need to have something about it. Like if it's not too bad, like then you decided to add it to the database, and that is like what we look actually. And then once we review the resources, and then we are ready to add them to the database. And once we decide to add them to the database, we already also tag them as adding to the newsletter. So basically, that is the whole process of curating resources.
Curating resources from curated lists already. I like
Exactly.
that. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I think curation is a new form of like content creation too, because there's so many out there, and like if you trust a better professional to make a judgment, then it's probably good.
Yeah, that's actually one thing we want to do, like showing ourselves, because it is important. We say like curated resources, but who is curating the resources? Like, who are you? Like, how will I trust you? Are you capable enough to decide if the resource is like uh, good, or like what makes it good? And like there are many factors to decide.
What are some of those factors to decide whether a resource is good?
Uh, well, we start. It's like reviewing a case study. Like if it's an article, we read through the article because there are tons of resources shared by everyone, and we can't read everything. But we quickly check the whole content and figure out what the content is about. Is it useful for a specific topic? Which users would it be helpful for? Is it being explained clearly? And yeah, I think these are the main factors, but also like the other factor is the content rare. So this is for learning resources. The learning resources like are mostly articles, and we add like 5 times more learning resources than tools. So that is how uh, the platform differentiates from other tool directories. It's not a tool directory. It's not something you can check one by one. It is like reviewed resources for specific use cases.
Yeah, so it always depends on what your use cases were, just like everything in life.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm curious, like, is there, since you're building products for designers, is there anything unique about building products for designers specifically versus in your experience building products for non-designers? Did they have a higher expectation, or just curious your experience on that?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess there's not much difference because in the end, it's all about solving a problem.
Hmm.
I mean, about Fountain, the primary problem we are trying to solve is accessing or finding the resources fast,
Hmm.
finding the good resources fast, finding what we are looking for fast. Because the process of finding a resource is like if we don't think like Fountain exists, then or because I don't think there's a similar product I haven't seen so far. Please write in the comments if you know something similar to Fountain. Uh, but the process is like you go to Google, you type what you are looking for, and you hit all the results one by one, and you need to check if the content is good or reliable. You need to check who is it is shared by, and there are many things you need to consider until you find what you are looking for. But the strongest part of or feature of Fountain is that you can narrow down the filters of a huge list, a curated list uh, of resources. And so, yeah, this is the problem we are trying to solve, and it's not different than solving this for other
Mhm.
people or just designers. It's the same, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. That's how I feel as well when I'm designing design buddies for
Yeah.
designers. What kind of challenges did you face when you were building Fountain?
Uh, I think the biggest challenge was the development. It's still the biggest challenge because we are designers, and I mean, I am a designer. My brother is also a designer. I mean, we can code. I have a front end developer background, and my brother can do even more. But still, like building a site from scratch, and it's too much work already. If you don't have an in-house like developer, then you have to outsource it, which costs money. So we are trying to do this by our savings because we want to do it. We believe in it, and the when I left my full-time job like 2 years ago, this is what I wanted to do, like build a product. I always wanted to be a maker, so we continue doing it, even though like I run out of money at some point. I will continue building Fountain, and maybe it will be slower, but still it will continue. It will always continue. Like that is what I think right now, but we'll see in the future.
Mm-hmm. So what's next? You launched like the bookmarking, the filtering. What's next for Fountain?
Many things next, but of course I don't want to reveal everything. I will just mention about like some free features and paid features we are planning to introduce. First, the deals page will come. Deals page will be about like discounts from different partner companies. This like these are the free features. Um, Collections, I think collections can be also really interesting. Think about like a topic, design systems topic. For systems topic, you will find different resources like uh, design system Figma files, design systems uh, articles, and like anything, like any resource regarding that topic will be under these collections. Or another collection type is by creators, well-known designers like Fons Mons, and this is like another thing we want to add to free features. And curators page, as I mentioned, it's not a feature, but it's something we want to add soon, so people know who is curating and how how the resources are being reviewed. Another fun idea is like I'm feeling lucky page. I think it can be fun. It is like a page to spin a random resource. And the other thing we want to introduce is the inspiration library, where designers can find mostly the visual design and design pattern inspirations.
Mm.
And when it comes to paid features, like some features we are thinking about is like unlimited bookmarks. Right now it is unlimited, but when we introduce paid features, there is a high possibility that it will become unlimited. And it will also be like a simple bookmark manager. You will be able to create your own folders or collections and assign your own tags or categories to your resources. Like think you can consider it like Eagle, but a more simple version, and advanced search filters and job sport. Maybe, yeah, these are the things we are thinking about right now. But yeah, still thinking about them.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, all those exciting things coming. Yes, because you also like had a job, and I know a lot of people are also thinking of quitting their job to go full time on a side hustle. So, what advice would you give to other designers looking to turn their side projects into full time ventures?
Yeah, I think I can say that like it should be about like finding the right problem to solve. Like for example, my brother always tells me, like asks me, like, okay, when will we add like the inspiration category? Because he needs to use it. Like I always use Fountain, and you need to like get a validation somehow. And how do you get the validation? You either build it and like start small and see the reaction, or you do your own research. Like for Fountain, uh, it started organically, and I think it can be a good example of how to start a thing. And then working hard is the second step, because uh, there are many things. If you are a solo uh, builder, like you have to deal with like marketing, copywriting, building, as I mentioned, like the development is a huge uh, like it's the main difficulty as designers. If I was a developer, I guess like the designing part was the biggest difficulty. So thinking about all those, and um, I guess the last thing is being patient, and like not rushing on monetizing, I guess, because I think that is one of the mistakes that many people do, like rushing on, like asking money from people before like providing actual value. So I think are these things should be considered, like before diving into full time and spending time and energy. I can give these advices.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How do you know it's the right problem to solve when you're thinking of building a product? Do you like validate with people? Like, what's your process? And how do you know?
Yeah, I think um, there is no right solution or answer or quick answer to that. Like, when do you consider it like validated? For me, like for a project like a Fountain, validation is that uh, if I'm using it or not, because I don't have like huge expectations from Fountain. I just want to build it and make it useful, and I have ideas to generate income out of it. And this is like in my case. But if it is for a bigger product that you're investing your money, that you're investing more money, or the product is riskier, then you need to invest more time on budget, maybe for the research and actually validation, asking the users what they need, do your market research, what are your competitors, and all those things, and combine all those informations and analyze them. And like some things you can build with the agile methodology, like do things fail fast, and the other way is to like invest understanding users and their uh, demands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, understanding users and demands. Um, so kind of like following up on that, based on the problem that you're trying to do, create resources. Eriqua asks, how do you come up with these features for Fountain?
Yeah, believe it or not, there are things I need in, like, I if it's because I'm using Fountain every day, and I feel like, oh, it would be good if there was this feature, I would use it. As I mentioned, it all started like solving my own problems, and in time, like as I mentioned before, again, like many people shared it, and many people said they loved it, and they used it. I see from analytics like it's being used every day for many people. Like the retention rate is increasing. People started coming back to the site instead of like visiting and leaving. It's not always the new users. New users. It's also like users that are coming back. So this is, I think, also a validation. So yeah, this by using and thinking about it all the time, I guess
Hmm.
I'm spending much time on Fountain.
Yeah. Kind of thinking about kind of going back to how do people take their side project into full-time ventures? Money is a huge thing, and you talked about delivering value before monetizing, but you've been working on it for a while. So how do you like go about monetizing Fountain?
Uh, I think we can separate it into two models. The one part of it is highly dependent on like the traffic coming to the site, which is like affiliates, uh, ads on ads and sponsorships on newsletters and on the sites. Like, for example, I've been thinking about category sponsorships. For example, for the design systems category, one or two brands can prior feature their brands specifically in that category instead of having like 10 banners on the homepage. Like they just claim that area. And that is, in order that to work, the site needs to have like enough traffic. And the other monetization method is user subscription. I don't think we will put much more effort to one of them. I think they will go together because we want to keep like access to the resources always free. Like for example, you when you go to Mobin, like you can't access the content. It's behind the paywall. Like or like most of the sites like are behind the paywall, but we don't want Fountain to be like that. It will always be free, but if it's going to be free, then it needs to have some traffic to generate some revenue on the site. So these are like some of our ideas, but like during this process of building Fountain, I learned a lot on marketing. It was my weak side. Like I didn't know like much stuff. Like for example, I try not to miss Lex Romans newsletters and articles. Like, yeah, I think once the site has enough traffic, we will start thinking more seriously about this because our top priority right now is making Fountain more valuable and richer with features.
Hmm. I'm curious, how do you go about learning marketing as for people wanting to learn about more about marketing?
Yeah, it is. I think it's about learning. It's similar to learning anything. Like if you are going to use it, then you should go for it. Or I mean, if you are going to practice it, because theoretical knowledge usually flies if you don't use it. Like if you need to do marketing, then there are tons of resources around. Like my method for learning is like learning by doing. I try to invest my time only when I need to do that thing. For example, I want to learn 3D design. Uh, but learning 3D design is a waste of time for me because I'm not going to practice it. Like I can practice it, like I can do 3D in my design, but what is the outcome of that effort? So Yes, it's definitely valuable, like learning about marketing. As I mentioned, like right now, I'm following people who are experts, like watching YouTube videos, like asking Google about how to do a specific thing. But it is because I need it right now. I mean, if not, like it's a waste of time.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I feel like in school we just kind of like learn everything, but you learn what you learn how to learn, and now it's like specific learning with a goal in mind to apply it right away. Yeah, I went through a phase where I was trying to learn 3D, but I had nowhere to apply it, so I forgot. Same,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah, we will add more learning resources to the fountain.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
yeah,
I used to make VR games, so that's where my 3D went. But I picked it up again like 2 years ago. Blender is so hard. Like every time I don't use it for a month, I forget how to use it. It's like driving a car, but harder. Um,
yeah.
yeah. But what are you looking to learn and do next? Like what's next for in terms of like wanting to learn and apply?
Yeah, good question. I think like marketing is next. I mean, it's already happening, but seems like I will spend more time on it. And because I need to do it, I need to learn more and practice it. But after that, as I mentioned, 3D is in my list, and also drawing or sketching, painting, doing that kind of art because uh, I, I admire those people who can draw or sketch, and I want to do as well, but I don't have time right now to focus on it. Uh, yeah, those are in my list.
Nice. Oh yeah, I love drawing. I've been drawing since I was a kid. It's so much fun. I actually draw all the Design Buddies banners and all the bunnies you see on Design Buddies branding too.
Yeah, they're so cute.
Thank you. Speaking of marketing right now and applying what you recently learning, how do people typically find out about Fountain?
um, right now, it's mostly socials because, like as I mentioned, my progress after quitting full-time job, I focused a lot on social media and primarily to Twitter and LinkedIn. So I built an audience in both platforms, and so far, like maybe 90% of the visitors are coming from socials, from my accounts or from Fountain's accounts. I also started an account for Fountain because I wanted Fountain to grow by itself apart from my personal account. And 10% is coming from SEO. And it is improving because I think the AI generated descriptions help a lot to the like SEO performance. Of course, we need to tweak them, but not right now. And in the future, um, I'm thinking about doing more collaborations with influencers and other makers or founders because I think it is something that other designers would like to collaborate. So, yeah, for now, this is how it goes. But of
Hmm.
course, I think we can benefit from advertisements as well because the problem about the main marketing problem about Fountain is that people don't understand what it actually is, and it really looks like a random uh, resources directory. They don't know like what they can find there, and I think like the drop downs of categories and tags, like they can be better. There are many things to improve, and it is also affecting the marketing aspect, in my opinion.
Hmm. How do you use AI to optimize your SEO? What's your process? Do you ChatGPT or like how?
Actually, there is a plugin in WordPress that does that job, but
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't perform really good. You need to. It's better if you write by yourself, like because it doesn't make much sense. Uh, we need to ask Edward Çekik. He is really good at this, like coming up with the right prompts on getting the results of like what you need. But I think it should be possible.
Mm-hmm. I just use ChatGPT. It somehow works. Um, yeah, that's cool. WordPress plugin. I don't use WordPress, but that's cool. Echo says, thank you, Grace and Ozan. You made a great point, knowing that there's a source of reliable. If a source is reliable, it is hard to tell, and having curated site feels safer to use. Looking forward to browsing content. Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Urka asks, tell us about your favorite. Well, do you have any favorite projects other than Fountain, and how do you go about solving user problems?
Yeah, I have a couple favorite projects other than Fountain. Uh, One of them is actually not um, a design project. It is like how we improved design process on at PDS. PDS is like the previous company I worked for. I actually gave a talk at 10x conference about it, like because it was I was hired um, like a year ago or 1.5 years ago as a product designer in the company, and one of the responsibilities was uh, implementing a design process, a better design process uh, in the company. That is also very educating. I learned a lot during the process because um, it was a startup, and we had to think about what is the best way to um, design projects, so like which methodology we should use. There are tons of methodologies out there, like design thinking or lean process. Like you can apply anything, but we need to consider like the situation, the resources of the company, uh, how many people are there, like who can do what, and what kind of features or projects we build, like how extensive they are. So working on these, like preparing, like and planning all the process, like how do we start uh, designing a feature, or how a design request come from stakeholders, how do we take them, and how do we turn it into an actual task, and like the whole process along the way. I think I can tell that that was one of my favorite projects in my career. And like the other question is like, how did you go on about solving user problems? It was actually about solving user problems because that was what's missing in the company. um, Sometimes I think um, the concept of UX design is, it sounds or feels a bit too complicated because the terminology is like so overwhelming. Like there is a name for everything, and basically what you do is do what's necessary. For example, for Fountain, so far we couldn't do much research, we couldn't listen to the users much, and we couldn't gather much information, but we already have our background and our own know-how. So we use that, and only with some small feedback we could find our way to go. And like solving users problems doesn't mean that you should do a continuous research, because sometimes you don't have enough resources. What will you do then? You always need to uh, find a way to utilize what resources you have. Like if you don't have resources, then you find a solution according to that. Like, and like that lean methodology or agile is like that. Like you build something small, maybe with small risk, and then you gather feedback to see if it's working or not. You tweak it, or you throw it in the trash completely. So there are different ways of doing that, but it's all about like what you need to do, what your project needs.
Working from there. Yeah. I'm also curious, like, kind of going back into monetization, because you currently monetize through like ads, like affiliate links, ads, and memberships. Um, I'm curious, like, what kind of like in terms of like monetizing, what kind of potential do you see in membership versus like ads and affiliates? Like, how does that breakdown work, and what have you seen so far?
So far, uh, affiliates didn't work for us at all. I think that's one part is because we couldn't like pull much traffic to the site, and it honestly that wasn't our focus. Like we didn't focus on marketing because we have like limited resources, and it was all gone to designing and building the thing. But um, as I mentioned, I think if we want affiliates and ads to work, then we need to have enough traffic, and uh, by having bookmarking features and user membership, we are at a better position to generate revenue from uh, affiliates and ads. And memberships is um, actually, I don't know yet. We will see how it goes because we are right now like building and building, and when we have more resources, like I think investing on marketing will like there will be a return from that.
Yeah, I think so too. Cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna jump into some of our some like random fun quick questions. What are some of your favorite project products in general?
My favorite products, I think, um, like all products like that are um, incredibly simple, to the point, and easy to use.
Hmm.
Um, One example to this is Airbnb. It's really easy to use and guides you to the resource that you are looking for. And the other one is Notion, but of course, Notion doesn't like match with this description. It's not so uh, simple and to the point. But what I love about Notion is like it has everything I need, like a database that I can filter the results, like a notes collection that I can group. And in that sense, like I really like Notion. It was a bit clunky before. It was slow, and the mobile application was like really nice to use, but they made like big improvements on those apps, both on Mac apps and mobile applications. So these are, I think, my favorite applications right now.
Hmm. Awesome. Airbnb
Mhm.
and Notion. I use those as well. Nicole has, thank you so much, Grace and Ozan, for your time. Such an informative, packed session. This session over apples any day. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That means
Thank you. Okay.
yeah. We got like 6 minutes left. I have a meeting after this. I'm also curious, like, what are some of your life goals in general?
Hmm.
A big question.
Uh, yeah. Actually, it's not so difficult because I, if I consider like as a short term, like the biggest goal of my life right now is like to be successful with Fountain, and like being fully independent, because that's why I quit my full-time job, and this is what I want to achieve. I mean, I don't know, like we have Reactor Studios right now, the design and development studio, but we are not focusing on getting leads from them. and it's not easy to uh, do that work. And maybe at some point I may need to like do a contract work with another company, but that's fine. I will still continue to build Fountain as I mentioned, and that's short term. And long term, I think like it's the Swedish dream. Swedish dream is like having a house at like a village and living like with in the nature, like with all the like I don't know, planting vegetables and stuff. That is the ultimate goal.
And eating Swedish meatballs and
Yeah, that
IKEA
is
and
actually.
Spotify.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, Sweden is cool. Sweden, you know Sweden has like the most islands out of all the countries in the world, and a long time ago it was like part of the coral reef, and that's why it has so many islands because of the coral reefs from it used to be like in the equator. That's just a fun fact I learned from our tour guide. So I'll share it. That was cool. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
If you could have any design related superpower, what would it be and how would you use it?
Yeah, there are some designers around. They seem like they have some superpowers. I think, like as I mentioned, I would love to have a talent of drawing. It always feels like those people have superpowers, like because it feels impossible. I mean, yes, you can improve your drawing up to a level, but having that talent by default is such uh, valuable.
Hmm.
Yeah, how I would use it is uh, I don't know, for the good of humanity. uh, I don't know. I would just add my drawings to my design, I guess, like you do.
Yeah, yeah, drawing's so much fun. Let me know if you want any tips. I've been drawing for probably like 20 years now. But yeah, I love drawing. Yeah. What is any advice you want to share for designers that you haven't shared yet?
Yeah. Uh, I think the most important thing for designers, especially for the ones who enter the industry, who are like beginners, like I think the consistency is uh, like what's most important, like being not um, overwhelmed by the external factors, because like there are many things that affect your motivation, but I think discipline beats motivation. So being consistent about whatever you are doing is the most important thing. And
Hmm.
the other thing is like again, I said in this conversation, like having a plan for learning things, because there are many things to learn, and focusing on learning things whenever you are actually going to use them, I think, is essential and is important. And from my experience, also being organized and planning good helped me reduce stress. Uh, yeah, and about like launching something, like starting small. That is also what we did with Fountain. We started small, like only the basic features, and we didn't try to monetize it. Even now, like it doesn't generate any revenue or anything. But uh, we must be sure about when the right time is there. So these I think are like all I can say.
Hmm. Yeah, targeted learning, being consistent, focus on what you can control. Yeah,
Exactly.
thank you so much. Oh yes, this is gonna be recorded and posted on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for your time. This is really fun, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And thanks so much for chatting with us today and sharing about Fountain, your experiences, and advice for designers.
Thanks, Grace. Thanks for having me here. I think it was amazing and fun.
Yeah, happy to. And thanks everyone for coming. I didn't know
Yeah,
there's an Apple event happening at the same time. So, yeah, it's great. All right.
yeah, yeah. I'll go watch it now if it's still like on.
Yeah, I'm gonna see what's happening now, but I gotta hop to another meeting, but thank you so much.
Thanks everyone for joining me.
Bye.
Thanks, Grace.
Awesome.
Bye.